Yo, what is going on, guys? It is your boy Kevin, and I'm back today with some tips on how to smack your opponents up with Rambo in Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate. He's kind of broken. I've kind of been playing him a lot. I've been using him competitively, and you can see some examples of that and play mine over on twitch.tv/kevinmcolon, where I'm streaming 4 times a week, holding events for you guys to earn free money. I mean, you know the spiel. You've heard it video after video after video. I just want to put some smoney's in your pocket. So come on over, say hello, join the Discord, be a part of the Golden Coalition, join the family that we're building across the internet. We're not held to just YouTube. We're not shackled to a website. But we are talking on one today. Let's talk about Rambo. Now, with my old videos, I used to go with a different format. I would pick a character and a tournament legal variation for them, cover their base and everything else with the variation, and then cover other variation specific things in episode 2 and 3. Now what I'm going to be doing is covering all of it in one video to try to save you guys some time, especially because I feel like now with custom variations, it's not as helpful to make you guys wait for all that info just for me to drop a video that doesn't cover a move you want to use. So we're going to try it out. You guys let me know how you like the format, and if you think this is better, we'll continue on this way, and if not, I'll break it down into specific variations again. But I've prepared 3 today for Rambo that I'm going to go over along with this base kit, show you how I think they work, what game plans I'd like to implement around them, what I'm using personally, and then in the description you can let me know, not in the description, in the comments you can let me know if you feel like I'm missing anything, and I'll cover those in a Tech Tuesday video in the future as we learn more and more and more about the game and we get better and better and better at the game. So let's talk about Rambo. First, important buttons to note that you have on their own. Short hop 1, or short hop 2, whichever one you like to use. Look at the range on this thing. Incredible. Incredible. Beautiful. Beautiful. First of all, 13 chip damage just for taking it. But look at how far that goes for a short hop. That's ridiculous. Outside of that, you have short hop 3, which is decent for what it is. It's pretty much like Kotal's, but he doesn't move forward in the same way that Kotal moves for him. But because he has his forward 4, which is also very strong, and we'll talk about again in a second when we get to crushing blows, you're not going to use that much. The only other important normal button that I think outside of like buttons that are related to strings is his forward 3. This is going to help you in combos. It also challenges on range and is special cancelable, which is one of the reasons I think it's so important. But let's start off with his base strings. He's got 1-2-1, which is going to be a high mid-mid and is completely safe on block. And look at that pushback. And pushback on block is going to be very important for Rambo. We'll discuss later why. It's important to note that it starts high because anything gets down 2 mashed on in this game. But it is what it is, and it's a solid string, and you're not going to get punished for using it. Back 1-2-1, you got a mid overhead, which is going to lead into mix-ups, and it's also safe on block. Very strong, and those overheads are important. Forward 1-2-2, very dangerous, -30 if you let the whole string rock. Now there's a flawless block gap, but why would you flawless block it when you can full combo punish it? Because he is -30. I mean, you know? They're solid pushback if they do block it, which is going to bait a lot of people into thinking that it's not punishable, and that's not the case, and I'm going to show you why. So if I take control of Jackie and record Rambo doing the string while I'm blocking it, what a lot of players are going to do if they're not aware is do this and go, oh man, look, I tried to punish it, and I didn't punish it. I blocked it, and look, I did a button, and it didn't work. You just take a step in, homie. Just walk forward and then do it. Look how much time I have to walk forward and then punish this string. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to eat all that, okay? Yeah, maybe I did the whole combo to flex off, okay? Whatever. Let's get back into the meat and potatoes of it, though. That is a very punishable string. There are situations. No, I want to take control of Rambo again. Come on, pause menu. She's still blocking? Yes. Okay, cool. There are situations that are going to help you bait people for this, but on its own, if it gets blocked, that's trouble for you, and you want to be aware of that because you're taking a risk rocking the string out. If you're worried about that, you can go for something like 2-2-2, which is a high mid-mid. The best benefit of this is going to be that it does a decent amount of chip. It does challenge with mids. It's hit confirmable, except for on that last hit. But you see at the second hit, I can still cancel. And of course, on the first hit, I can cancel. If I fully rock the string out, I can't. And there's no gaps. It's completely safe. It's going to be a good string for that, but it's a stubby string. He doesn't move that far doing it, so it's not going to be the best with punish string. That's going to come in your back 2-2-1, because this string is incredible. And it also has a flawless block gap at the end, that you can cover by doing back 2-2-4, which is going to be an overhead. And this is special cancelable even off the last hit, which is really good. Every single button in this, every single button in this can be canceled all the way up until here, which is going to be very important for some strategies later. It's also good because the string itself is -11, and we can get ourselves out of a punishable situation because we can cancel out of it. We've got forward 2-1-1, dangerous because it's -10, so punishable, but not everybody is going to punish it. Hits overhead at the end, which is going to give us mix-ups later, so it's important to note for that. And if you're worried about the flawless block gap on the last 2 hits, because one does exist, you can do forward 2-1-4. It's very similar to how you do back 2-2-4 and cover yourself. It also has strong pushback, and if it hits, we'll launch them like across the screen. So it's great for that. Outside of that, we've got our back 3-3, which is going to be our optimal hit confirm string. You're trying to get your damage out. Oh, cool, I hit them. You're trying to punish somebody. Oh, cool, I hit them. Comes out at 12 frames. So Rambo's great. You're going to operate him at slightly outside of punishable range. You can get into whip punish. So it's going to be very similar to Shao Kahn, Kotal Kahn, where you're going to go ahead, come after me. All you did, and you're going to come in and do all of your shenanigans and cancel into your big confirms. From his base moves, I can only talk about 2 of them now because of the way that I've got my variations set up. He does have a slide, which is getting covered by this roll that we're going to talk about shortly, but I'll talk about the slide later. We've got our bow and our down back 2, and we're going to enter a bow stance. First of all, can we look at the face that this man makes when he's in bow stance? Because I don't know why he does this with his mouth, but it's amazing. Rambo the throat goat out here, you know what I'm saying? Still, we can release arrows. We can hold this up to 208 frames, if I'm not mistaken, before he just starts letting it rip. Yeah, I'm just not letting go of the button, and every 208 frames, he will just shoot an arrow up to 3, where he will then run out of arrows, and they'll get restocked, and you can do that. You're never going to run out of these arrows. You can release them at different timings, but since you are in a stance, it doesn't work the same. If you use it like a regular projectile, it's not the best because of the startup. That's pretty slow. So in somebody's face, you can interrupt that pretty easily because it takes 30 frames for that first projectile to come out. But you're going to hold it and then release and then immediately hold. So you'll see if I hold it, release, I'm out. If I hold it, release, hold, release, hold, release, hold. You know, that's how you're going to get them out at the timings that you want. What I usually do, and I would recommend doing if you're zoning at distance, is let one rip and then let 2 go right after each other. I don't know why that's been catching everybody that I play, but it has. Also, the chip on it's pretty decent. That's 2 damage for chip. Look at those chunks on her. So if they decide to block the whole thing, if you let all 3 rip, she just took 6% chip damage at full screen. I didn't even have to do anything. Of course, they are high, so they can be ducked under, but if they do eat them, they eat them. So take those if they give them to you. You've got whip trap in your down back 4. Also, wait, this can be canceled by hitting down, which is good. It's completely fake. I'm -26, -24, -25. It's going to change depending on the string that you do it off of. But you can flash the animation, maybe because they see movement, they don't move, and then you get in and you throw them, or you use that and you try to open them up with other buttons. So it's a good strategy for that. It's also the fact that you can bait, and if you feel like they're going to try to punish you, you don't have to commit to the stance. You can zone with projectiles, get yourself out of it, and then react to what's going on. So it's good for that. You've got your down back 4 and your whip trap. Very, very, very strong, and it hits mid. So it's not even a low. I don't know if this counts as a projectile for someone like Sheng who might want to smoke parry it. I'd have to test that. But look at that. Covers range, and you can do a far version too. If you do down back 4 forward, you'll get this far one. So you cover 2 ranges, which is going to be the half of the screen in front of you and the half of the screen away from you. If you try to combo, you're always going to do the normal one. If you're up close and you do the far one, it's going to whiff in the background. You're very, very minus 32 frames of recovery for whiffing this. That's going to get hit. That's just as bad as doing this, and they don't even have to walk up to you. So be careful. Then he has a slide, which of course we'll talk about later. As far as his crushing blows, for base crushing blows, you're going to have your down 2, which of course everyone had. And there's some things we want to note with this down 2. First of all, it challenges beautifully horizontally in front of him with the range. You're not going to have an issue with somebody going for a throw and you trying to challenge with down 2 and this whiffing. You are going to have an issue with people being over your head because you see where the knife goes. He has a giant blind spot over his head, meaning that certain characters can get over you and not get hit. Because if you get, again, over his head and he tries to down two, he's not going to hit you at all. So you want to be mindful of that. If you do not jump or get knocked down for 10 seconds, you can get this throw crushing blow, which is a lot stronger than it seems initially. Because what a lot of people see is 115 damage and go, that's horrible. Throw crushing blows do like 30 damage all the time. That's not the point with this one. It restands into more combo pressure. So you can confirm off of this and get big combos. In this variation build that we're going to talk about in a bit, this is a beautiful KB. Because you get to get into big shenanigans off of that. So there's that. It also does bleeding damage. So if you look at her life bar, she's getting ticked for about 6 damage per second, maybe even more with how fast those go down. So her eating that bleeding damage along with the rest of the combo, I mean, she falls for a setup like this. That bleeding damage helped you get that much damage. Without that, that wouldn't have done that much. So it's very helpful. I do like it. If someone's low on health, of course, this won't kill them, but it can bleed them until chip, and then you can come in with strings like this and just start abusing them with chip damage. You also have your forward 4, which has a crushing blow if you hit 2 of them in a row. Outside of that, it is your armor breaker. So let's say you are hitting your opponent and they decide, like an idiot, that they want to break away. Well, they just got armor broke and tossed full screen, and you get right back into your shenanigans. So for variation 1 that I've built for Rambo, I think I've covered everything base for him that's important here, outside of the slide, which we'll get to. I've put on him roll and snare trap. 2 good moves. You've already seen both of them in action. Snare trap is going to be your hit confirmable combo extender. You spend a bar to get continuation that you are used to. Let me actually take the breakaway off of her. There is a problem with snare trap where you have to keep in mind when it's going to connect and when it's not going to connect based off of what you're hitting. What do I mean by that? Well, if you do back 3 snare trap, by the way, snare trap is down back 3 if I didn't mention, it's not going to connect into combo. You see I got 2 hits from her going up and then hitting the floor, which I would have got normally anyway. This doesn't combo, but back 3-3 does combo. It's important to note. Forward 1 doesn't combo, but forward 1-2 does combo. Important to note. Forward 2 combos, but forward 2-1 doesn't. That's the biggest problem with snare trap, which is ideally why you're going to be fishing for back 3-3 all of the time to either jump in and get this and confirm into it, or just punish something and get into it. You got to check it out with your different strings. 1-2 won't do anything. I'm actually not sure about back 2-2. It does. Okay, cool. Back 2 does. Back 2-2-1 I don't think would, because she falls out. So it's great for that. Another thing is, if you notice, it connects low, which means you get mix-ups. So if we look at a string like his back 1-2-1, which gives us double overhead, that also gives us double mix-up, because if they stand up to block this back 1-2, well, then I can just do back 1 snare trap, get my confirm. If I do this and they're worried about the last hit, well, I can do this and then go snare trap. So they're either going to get knocked down, where I get okie, or they're going to get mixed up. And there's 2 layers, either off the first hit because they want to avoid the overhead, or off the second hit because they want to avoid the overhead. That's good. Of course, if it gets blocked, you're punishable, so be careful with that, but that gives you ways to open up into it. And naturally, this string does confirm off of any part of the string, unless, naturally, you commit for the knockdown, which you can do if you notice they're blocking and keep yourself safe, as we mentioned before. So that string becomes 3 times stronger with snare trap equipped. Snare trap also, if amplified, gives you enough time to walk over and side switch, which is very good. If you're in the corner, and let's bring her a little closer. If you're in the corner and you manage to get her with something like this, cool. Now we got, why can't I ever hit these things when I want to record a video? Now she's in the corner, back into our world. Now she's got to worry about these again. Getting mixed up. Corner, as you all know, gives you a lot more freedom as to what you want to do for your combo. So very, very strong for that. Keep note of that. It's good. It's good. Okay, so let's talk about his roll. What does his roll do? Well, first of all, his roll has a crushing blow attached to it if it counter hits, which is going to act similar to the throw crushing blow, where we can combo off of it, which I like in this build because naturally you can get a punish like this, confirm, into snare trap. And if you'd like, you can even end it in more roll pressure. So it's solid. Roll's going to give you 3 options. You can either roll and just let it rip, which is going to be a mid, and you'll be somewhat punishable, but most times not punishable. I think you're around -11 for this. You can amplify it, which is going to give you an overhead where you'll be completely safe, or you can hold down and cancel it. So you can do something like this. Move your snare trap, get whatever combo it is that you'd like, roll through, get them scared, try to catch them for pressing buttons to answer you, do this, roll through, they're scared. Get a throw. Ideally, a throw KB wouldn't work because I'm jumping around, but you get the point. Let's say I wasn't. Get more combos. That's the idea with this variation, is using the roll to bait to open them up, along with the mix-ups here that you get from strings, or just confirming into pressure, or just challenging. Of course, this roll also gets you through projectiles. So this, ideally with this variation, is exactly what you're hoping for. You're hoping that your dream, to be honest, if you really want to pop off on somebody with this variation, is that you get counter hit. I'll show you the perfect setup for this. You get counter hit. You go cool. You get them here. They want to break away. I forget. I actually should make it normal breakaway for this to show you. I always set it to late to help myself, but this will help. So we get counter hit. Then we're going to confirm. Then we're going to go hit them. Get our breakaway. Beautiful. Sauche. Sauche in that build. So that's going to be my variation 1. Pretty strong. I like it for what it does. And your game plan, again, is to hit confirm, annoy at range with roll, use your cancels, pressure people, get your hit, fish for that counter hit, then go into your world. And you'll see, even if they don't break away, if they just take this, even if you were trying to cover breakaway, that's still not bad damage for what you're doing. So, of course, if they're not going to do that, you'd rather do like a down 2 or more combo extensions. But for what it is, very solid. Let's get to talking about V2. V2 is my personal favorite variation, and this is what I use all the time. In this build, we are using our Leopard Crawl, his Commando Strings, and his Command Throw called Fubar. And I named it Prone Hub because I thought it was funny because you go prone. So in this one, let's talk about the crawl first, because the crawl is the meat and potatoes of this whole build. It's all the shenanigans, because you get out of crawl different options, right? So if we're in crawl, which is going to be our back, forward, forward. Again, it's going to replace our slide. We can walk forward. We can't walk backward, which is important to note. If we press 4, we'll stand back up. If we press 1, we'll go for a low stab. It'll keep us in here. If we go for 3, we'll get a parry, which we can KB off of. And if we go for 2, we get a throw. And the throw is what's important here. Ignore that crushing blow. I have easy crushing blows on. I forgot. I'm free because I don't have good memory. What's so good about the crawl? Crawl gives us true thick, not true dick throws. True tick throws. Look at this. That's real. They can't get out of that. If they don't read that it's coming, that's a tick throw. So they have to know when it's coming. Now, what's the problem with this? Well, the problem's going to be that you can do it off of damn near anything. And I'm talking about anything. You want to do it off a standing 3? Be my guest. You want to do it off a forward 1? Be my guest. Forward 1, 2? Be my guest. You want to do it off a back 1? Be my guest. Back 1, 2? Be my guest. 1, 2? Be my guest. Standing 1? Be my guest. Forward 1 on its own? Be my guest. Forward 3? Be my guest. Anything. Forward 1. No, sorry. Forward 2. Forward 2. Be my guest. Forward 2, 1. Forward 2, 1. Forward 2, 1. Then I hit it, and I think I did. 4, 2, 1. Be my guest. Any string that you want can get confirmed into this, and it's real, and it's gonna catch a lot of people. What I like to do is get a situation like this, and then challenge with 4, 3, and then go into it again. If they read that you're gonna do it, you can check them with the low. So if they want to answer you back, you can stab them instead, stabby stabberston. Or if they want to answer you back, you can parry. So if she decides she wants to like down 1 me for whatever chance, no, I want to record the AI. So I'm going to record her doing a back 3. I'm going to go here. She gets hit. And for a lot of characters, their problem is that their low is going to be the way that they're going to get Rambo out of it, and he doesn't care. And I, of course, can beat her out. And if I get to her first, I can throw her before she even gets it going. Very, very strong. If she tries to down one, which a lot of people are going to do, they're going to try to down one to get themselves out of that situation. It's fine. And if you hit the string, you wait 1 more second and you throw. If you try to rock it immediately, it'll whiff. But if you give it a sec, they'll still be there to get caught. And so a lot of people, they'll think they're getting staggered. They'll block. They'll get hit with a throw. You go on about your life. Sauche. Second thing that I've included in here is his Commando Strings, which are going to change his 1-2-1 into a mix-up where he can 1-2 throw. 50-50. Forward 1-2. Remember how we talked about how horrible this string was? Well, now it's a 50-50 because we can forward 1-2 throw. And if they're worried about getting hit with a throw or they want to take advantage of it because it is a high, so they can neutral duck down to punish you, if they want to do that, they get hit with launcher, and then you go into combo. And you combo into our last move, which is going to be our command throw, which does have a crushing blow attached to it if you catch somebody out of wake-up roll. So I'm going to set the AI to get up and roll at me. And we get KB. And look at that. And she's taking bleed damage. So I did 30, and she bled. All I did, look at her health. All I did was sweep and make 1 read. That's all I did. And now look at her health. I'm not going to touch her. I'm not going to touch her. And look at her health. So you can combo into this very well. So what I like to do with people is annoy them with these constant tick throw pressure. I'd like to use that to open them up to something like this. Then confirm into foobar. You can also hold forward when you amplify it and leave them there. So if you get them in the corner, this is a big threat, which is what's really scary. You can march them down the whole time with all of this pressure. And every time you land the throw, we're shoving them more towards the corner and we're rushing after them to challenge. And if when they get in the corner, they want to roll out, which is what a lot of people are going to want to do. We'll show you a scenario like this. If I could hit it for the life of me. There we go. He wants to roll out. Look at that. Look at that. Wouldn't that be great? And you still have your forward 4 tool. If we land that and then we hit forward 4 after that, she just lost that whole round. Because she got caught with this KB. She bled out, she bled out, she bled out. We hit her with a forward 4. Oh no, we hit her with a forward 4 again. I keep forgetting she has roll. Look at her health. She's dead. She's gonna be dead. If she makes this comeback at that point, she deserves it. She deserves it 100%. But this tick throw pressure is so strong. You can even combo into it, believe it or not. If I set us back here, if I don't mess it up, you can combo into the thing. Now the crawl is gonna have crushing blows on its own. You have to crawl a certain distance, then you get the character. You'll get a KB. And the parry, unfortunately, has the same condition where you have to crawl and get the parry. To note the distance that it is, you see how he moves his elbow when he steps forward? 2 of those is what you need to get it. So you're going to see 4 little then you're far enough, right? So count it with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, grab him. That's your KB. The 3, if I take easy crushing blows off, which I'll do here so you can see that it's real. Okay, if I do 1, 2, it's not long enough. So we're gonna do right there. This should KB. Okay? So that's how you're gonna count it in your head. If you have someone who hesitates and they're worried, that extra second just bought you the KB. Beautiful. That's all we want. Let's get into variation 3. Which is also strong. Even though variation 2, trust me, that's my variation, okay? That's my variation. I want to upload a clip of playing ranked with it. I don't know how much time I'm going to have today, but I do want to start getting some ranked footage out. Especially since we're in between Combat League seasons, which means I can relax and just enjoy the game and not have to stress about points. So I would look out for that video soon, and when I'm playing it, I'm probably going to be using that last variation. This variation 3 here is actually one of his tournament loadouts, and I feel like they did a beautiful job with this one, which is why I keep it just in case. This is going to be your anti-zoning, no, actually not anti-zoning, your counter-zoning and anti-pressure build. In this, for one, you have your base move back, which is going to be your slide. We gave it up in those past two variations. Here, we're going to keep our slide. Slide has a crushing blow condition where if I hit it 3 times the same way, once I've hit it twice, I've loaded it up, and that third slide amplified will crushing blow. I'm going to turn easy crushing blows on, so we don't have to go through all that trouble. We'll crushing blow for a fair amount of damage. It's really good. You get mix-ups with slide in the same way. Now, it's not as real because it can be reacted to. Now, it can be comboed into, which is important, but if they're blocking, you can try to catch them with this, but this can be fuzzy guarded, so a lot of people will notice this and then crouch right before they get hit, but some people won't if they're expecting back one too. A lot of times, back one slide has worked for me a fair amount of times. You can also hold forward, so if you do back forward and hold forward, you get an increased distance. So here's his normal slide. And now here's his slide. If we rev him up a bit, he gets in. You can also choose to, if you hold back, roll away. So we can keep ourselves in for more pressure, or we can hit it, hold back, and get away. You cannot do that on Amplify. Sorry, hold on. At least I don't believe you can. But I'll check. Or can you? Or is that just how it works? No, that's just how it works, yeah. So on Amplify, you can't do it. He's just going to do that by himself. You don't have an option to stay in. If you go for this, you give that up. But on normal, you can hit it and get right back out. That's going to help, especially with this build, because this is very much a keep away build. We're giving up our whip trap for mace trap, and mace trap is annoying. First of all, it has 2 different ranges the same way that whip trap does. So we have our close and our far. So same commands, down back 4 or down back 4 forward. And this is going to keep people locked down. Now the rope doesn't hit. People can jump over this, which is fine, because if they want to jump over it, we're going to pull out the M60. And the M60, if amplified, that's a fair chunk of damage. And if they block that, they have to block all of that, and it goes on forever. Regular down back 2 for M60. He's going to pull out the 1. And if you amplify, this son of a gun pulls out 2 of them. This is going to be great also for chip. If they are blocking this and you have them close to death, which is going to be the best time to use this, you can have the audacity to do that and just chip away at them. Now, it doesn't do as much chip as I would like. I feel like Spawn's gun does way more chip than this does, but this is still incredible. So you pressure, you chip them out for death if they're on last breath. If they block that, they're dead. They're not going to have an opportunity to. They can make the read and neutral duck it because it's high the whole time, in which case they will punish you when they get up, because you see he's minus 19 off of it. But it's great for that. Our last move is going to be one of my favorites for him, the Claymore. Claymore detonates. Problem with Claymore, Claymore hurts you too. So you have to be careful. But you're going to get setups with it. The idea with this variation, usually what I would do in other builds is do something like this and pressure Claymore on them and hope that they sit there and then use that to get into more combos. You can do that. You can also, if you would like, combine this with roll. If you can get to the other side of an opponent, there's I can get over it for like a second. You have to put it farther away. Can I just jump over it? Yes, I can. Okay. You can get opponents into it on the other side. Usually what people will do is put it down. And you see that second where I'm not getting hit? You can roll past that. Hit them, push them into it. Get launcher, you know, and do your stuff. But in this variation, we're going to be using it for keep away. So we're going to be using M60, mace trap, and we're just going to pressure them. Pressure them. And if they start getting close, cool, we're going to put Claymore so they have to worry about that. And they can't jump over, because if they jump over, they land on the Claymore. And if they land on the Claymore, we punish them. You can do something like back 2-2-4, because you'll see on hit, I'm going to tell her to stop blocking. No, to stop blocking. We do this on hit. We push them right back out. We put a Claymore down. Okay, cool. And we get back to it. And as they get closer, they run into Claymore. And if they run into Claymore, get away from me. Cool. Put it back out. Go right back to our pressure. We can M60 them. Of course, don't put it on yourself and blow yourself up like I just did. And if M60 hits, it's great. So that is going to be, for the most part, what you can do with custom Rambo in his different variations. I'll probably talk about or show you better examples of how they work on their own when I start playing him in ranked. But he's very strong. And I'm telling you, that oh my god, I'm telling you, that V2, that prone hub build that I made, you guys should really check that out and start trying out those tick throws. More videos coming out soon. You know, I love talking to you guys, and I'm going to keep doing it. Play Rambo. Let me know what you think. Comment down below if I missed anything that I should have gone over so we can make sure that we get the information out to the public. I'm not concerned about being 100% right about everything. I want to get you guys the information so we can all get better and enjoy this game together. With that said, I will see you guys soon. Some tech videos coming up for Rambo as well, because I found some counterpick stuff that's pretty dirty. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Enjoy Mortal Kombat Ultimate. Peace.